Yeah, they are. I just ate one right in front of them.
We're so lucky to be able to pick this kind of stuff off of our weeds.
Just got back from blackberry picking. Now it was in our yard, but it's a quarter-mile driveway, so we took the ladder so that we could get up high, because some of these blackberries grow up right up into the trees, so you could pick an apple and a blackberry at the same time. Anyway, here is my reward. Hopefully you can see that. But this is what I really got to show you. So these are my gloves. These are my blackberry picking gloves. And the fingers are cut out, and these are really strong, so I can push the thorns back while I pick with here. But it looks like my fingers are bloody, but they're not. They're berry stained. And these are really good. And they're the best organ weed that we have. We really, really like them. Anyway, I couldn't let this morning go by without showing you what we'd done. And it was really good. Good morning.
Do you see how many she picked?
Okay, go.
My goodness, it's a bunch. And they're good.
Yeah, they are. I just ate one right in front of them.
We're so lucky to be able to pick this kind of stuff off of our weeds.
But I gotta go pick the thorns out now. So I'll talk to you a little bit later. This is blueberries that I got yesterday that I've frozen, and I'm now gonna put them in my food saver, vacuum seal them, and put blackberries on here instead. So I'm gonna wash up my blackberries, and the reason I picked them in small containers is so that I can just take a container and wash it and then pour it out. So I'll put about 2 of these on a cookie sheet to freeze, and then I'll put them in my vacuum seal, and they'll be ready for me to use at a later time. And we go out and eat blackberries daily, so we're trying to get some so that we will be able to keep them out through the winter months. And then we just pulled out squash out of our dehydrator, and we take the squash and put it into baggies, and this is really good to eat like potato chips. We eat it in the car because we don't eat potato chips or nachos or anything cooked in bad oils, and so we eat this instead, and it's really, really good. We also put seasoning on it at different times. So I'm gonna put my blueberries in my vacuum seal bag. I'll open this a little bit, maybe. We're getting our temperatures back up there again, not in the hundreds, but in the high 80s. So trying to keep the house cool. If you hear a hum in the background, it's a fan. Quickly become something else. And push it. Voila. All sealed. Blueberries 2017. And that's what I'm going to do with the blackberries. Here you can see my face. Not that you need to see my face. So blackberry washing time. So all I have to do is run them under here. And spread them out on the sheet. Just making sure I get any debris that's there. I share them with the wasps and the bees and the spiders, none of which got me this morning. All right, now this is going to go in the freezer, and when this is froze, then I'll do the same thing that I just did with the blueberries and put the next pile in. My freezer space is very limited right now, so I'm only going to do one at a time, and they'll be fine. So now to package up the squash. Well, I'm back, and the blackberries are out of the freezer. They're quite solid little rocks right now. This is actually the 4th batch I've done of these, and it's super exciting. Ta-da! Really fun to know that this little brick package is 2 baskets of blackberries that we can enjoy during the winter. And I would like to show you one additional thing, so I'll be right back. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me get this one done. I did one. This is the one I just did. I've got one to do here. And what I used to begin with was wax paper. Wax paper did not work well, because as I went to pull up the berries, it would rip too. So I'm actually using freezer paper, which works amazing. I love freezer paper. So we have been wanting to get a food saver for a long time and just didn't justify the cost. Oh, how silly of us. Because as you know, if you put things in a baggie or in a Tupperware container or a plastic container, they can still get ice crystals on them, and they just don't stay as fresh. And these stay they don't have any air in them, so they're really, really well done. I'm going to go ahead now and put the last berries in so they can go in the freezer. Woohoo! Let me pop this in the fridge. Freezer, I mean. And I will put this one in. So it just takes all the air out. There's no ice crystals, and they're supposed to last a lot longer. And they're not as fragile. They're just really, hard. And so it takes complete air out. Hopefully you can see this. Let me pull it up a little bit closer. And then it releases it and pops it out. It's one of those I can't believe I waited so long to buy it purchases. Now I'm going to show you one other thing. I'm going to take you into, oops, too close, into a room where we've got things at right now, just to show you a particular container. Now, not everything in this container is in the vacuum pack, but a lot of it is. These are onion tops. Yesterday I went and picked a few of the onions. In fact, I think it was on the video when I did that. And all the onion tops, I cut them into little pieces, dehydrated them, and they're all in here in these vacuum packs. And then I have squash that's in vacuum packs, and then some that are not in vacuum packs. And like I say, we put these in the car with us and eat them. These are seasoned, so they'll be really good. And then I took all kinds of my grain that I've had that hasn't been, it's been in jars and stuff, or, and let me explain something about grains if you do not know this. Grains, as long as they have not been ground in any way, they stay pretty good. But once you grind them, like if you make cracked wheat out of your wheat, it turns rancid. And that's the one that I had to throw away. I opened up my bulgur and you could just smell the rancid. And so that one I threw away. This is coconut, unsweetened coconut. This is amaranth. I have my beans in here. And so these can store for a really long time and it will be okay. These are tomatoes, dehydrated tomatoes, which we also carry in the car with us. Oh, if you haven't had dehydrated tomatoes. And you could just take them and put them in your soups and stuff. Same with all of these things that are dehydrated. You can do that. So I wanted to show you this. And maybe you can see the little tiny pieces. This is shredded zucchini. And if you remember the other day when I pulled on a zucchini that was this big, that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, is cutting that up, shredding it, and dehydrating it. And then I can just hydrate it later and use it in making zucchini bread or something like that. Of course, I don't use regular sugar in my breads. And I don't make breads very often because they are a dessert. Anything that's a carbohydrate is a dessert. And then I'd like to show you one additional thing. So I have made yogurt before. Let me pull this down. Several times. And I have not liked the recipe because it has you take the temperature up so high. But this time I actually used one from the book by Sally Fallon of Nourishing Traditions. And you made it with raw milk. And so you just took 1 quart of raw milk and stuck it in your pan and took it up to 110. 110 is just like poof, it's there. You take out 2 tablespoons of your raw milk that are warm, mix it with a tablespoon of good yogurt that you like the flavor of. Remember, your yogurt that you make will take on the flavor of whatever it is that you have. So you do that and you put it back, take those 2 tablespoons of milk and a tablespoon of yogurt and mix it all up and put it into a quart jar. Then pour the rest of the milk in there and then add 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons. Oh, I'm looking at 2 deer. Hi, dear. And put them in it, mix it all up. And then, so you understand how quick that was? I want you to understand how quick that was. So then you take it into your dehydrator and you just set the jar in here for 8 hours at 100 degrees. Now it came out when it had about 3 hours to go, and right now it has another hour to go. And it was kind of thick but not real thick, and I don't like thick yogurt. But the taste, oh my goodness. I mean, I'd be happy to take yogurt and just mix it with fruit and just be real soupy. So we'll see what this is like. I'm very excited about using this type of recipe for 2 reasons. It doesn't heat up the milk, so it's not like I've pasteurized my raw milk. And so it keeps all the probiotics there. And super fast, super fast. So that is our video for today. Jim isn't here right now. He can't help me finish this. But I've had a fun day of being able to do lots of processing of the food, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Like, subscribe, share. And by the way, this is 170 days of our 180-degree lifestyle change in 180 days. We have 10 days left before we will have done 180 videos in a row. And we had done some before that, but they didn't count on our 180 days. So pretty excited about all of that. Talk to you later.